I think let's bring out this page on oil prices and let's factor in the U.S., which is the big brother in terms of consumption, in terms of buying oil, even though China is also a big elephant in the room. That the U.S. is buying more of Nigeria's crude. Yes, that's the report in the first 6 months of the year. So we seem to have an answer to where all our money was coming from. In the first $2.7 billion looks like a lot of money on the table. But speak to this chart, that table there in increase in U.S. shale drilling activity and the oil rigs that the U.S. oil companies are adding to their own count.
Well, I think it's the sense that there's always an apparent risk in the market that if oil prices increase to a certain level, that would incentivize U.S. energy companies to start adding drills. And that was the case, but I think oil prices now have tapered down a bit, so that should provide less of an incentive for them to add oil rigs. I think last week was the first time in 7 weeks that the U.S. rig count increased. And whereas I think that number should keep on increasing in the coming weeks, but I don't see it as a threat to the oil market unless maybe prices were, I think $60 will be the level that if oil prices cross that level, it should really put pressure on oil prices. That shale drillers will really continue adding rigs, and that could be a threat to the oil market. So
despite whatever happened with Hurricane this and Hurricane that, the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, whatever, and you think that we still have a very decent chance of oil prices staying above 50 for the final 90 days of 2017.
Yes, indeed. And let's not forget, I think the OPEC meeting is on November 30th.
Oh, I forgot.
The likelihood,
that's another meeting.
The likelihood is that they would extend it, and that would send a bullish note to that would send a bullish signal to the oil market.
But you saw September oil production very aggressive, with Nigeria contributing much to that. So how much of September production increases will flow into the November meeting? Well, in terms of consideration?
I think it will be a thing to consider, but I think this is just, although production increased overall, I think it's still, compliance levels are still high. Compliance fell from 88% to 82%. 82% is still a very good number. And I think this just signals the effect of, there's a temptation to cheat when prices are higher. Producing countries would likely, in order to maximize their revenue per se, they would like to produce more oil in order to do that. So I don't think it is a bad thing. 82% is still a very fair compliance level by OPEC. So, and Libya just, their oil field shut down again on Monday. So about 210,000 barrels per day taken out from them. And there's still a lot of volatility. For example, in Nigeria, so we still face our internal strife. So there's still a lot of, but still way off that level.
So is it good news, therefore, that Bonelite is coming back on stream this week?
It is. That should add about 150,000 barrels per day, 200,000 barrels per day. And even if we add that, we're still in line with OPEC's cap of 1.8 million barrels per day. So
isn't this take us to 2.2 million barrels per day?
It should take, if we exclude distillates, it will still be 1.8, yes, but if we include distillates, yes.
That's the way you analysts think at the books. That's the way you analysts think at the books. You just, once you get to that threshold, you just take out the distillate. You say, well, hold on, everybody. OPEC, we're still below 2 million barrels per day. Hold on a second. But if you add everything together, we're not too far from 2 million barrels per day.
Why not indeed. But I think we're still in line with OPEC's cap. Although if our production is still at this level, then that's when we're really going to come under pressure by OPEC to cut our production. So
I'm sure they're going to invite us for the November meeting again.
Of course.
The one they did the last time. But is it not surprising that the U.S. is buying more of Nigeria's oil? We thought they were done with us. We thought they shut the door on our face. Now, this report says that was quite massive, 52.3, thereabout. A million barrels in 6 months.
It is. I think, number one, I think Nigeria's crude is Bonelite is very attractive in the form that it can be refined easily. And you have to point that to September. That was when major refineries shut down in Texas. So maybe because of the undermining the ability of those refiners to refine oil. They had
to get input from their backyard.
Yes.
So they got to take feedstock from Nigeria.
Nigeria, Angola, yes, exactly, yes.
That's where that came from.
I believe
so. We shouldn't. You think we shouldn't celebrate this yet? We don't know what the outlook would be from the United States once they get their own backyard sorted out.
Yes,
they're
I think
gonna...
refinery capacity has already picked up markedly in the last couple of weeks. So we have to see the trend in this October, November if that figure keeps on increasing.
Okay. But finally, you don't see oil prices below 50 before the end of the year. I need some good news to go out there.
I think it might even cross 60. That's where.
Before December?
I believe so.
Okay,
I think
you deserve this. Oh, you deserve this. I love that. I can use that to start my business week. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for coming through. Even though we're around 55, it's this morning still not really, not really bad as it were.
Yeah. So yesterday average is $52 per barrel. If you compare that to 2016's average, $45 per barrel. So this year we've done much better than 2016. So
than our budget estimate.
We're on the right street. Yes, $10 about how much? $7 above our budget estimate. So
do you think we should raise the budget benchmark for 2018?
No, let's still be conservative for a while. Let's still be very.
We should go below 44.
I think we're at the right point. $45 is very apt at this point.
44.50 is good.
Yes,
for you.
In my opinion, yes.
I'm going to write that down. I think some folks say we should do less than that. But of course, if you can keep $7 as excess, if you want to put it that way, whatever account you put it, whether excess crude account or whatever you save in it, that's still a very good one.
Yes.
Do have a very good week, and see more of you in the future. Adim Okwesa, one of the economists and research analyst team at Financial Derivatives Company. You saw the PMI this morning. September was a little bit weaker, 58.1 according to FBN Quest. It was much better, 55.3 according to the central bank data last week before the holiday. So this is a divergent there about the reading. But of course, you know, the basket measured by the central bank manufacturing report is much bigger, about 16 subsectors. For FBN Quest, it's just about 5 sub-sectors that are measured. 3 out of these 5 were in positive territory, and that's what the numbers are this morning. Let's come back to you after the break. 2 minutes.